Hello friends, Editing Tyler here. I just want to do a little bit of a disclaimer before we get into today's episode. We have a deeply beautiful, devastating, heart-wrenching, very deeply emotionally connecting episode lined up for you guys. But that being said, we definitely do have some triggers in here, so I wanted to get that out the gate for you guys. So if you guys want to move past this episode, you can. So if you have any issues with the discussions of domestic violence against men or women or children, if you have any issues with bipolarism, or just discussion on that topic, same with narcissism, echoism, anything that really is within that realm, you might want to pass up on to today's episode. And if you are wanting to continue, I hope that you enjoy. It was beautiful. I think that it is so beautiful that there's going to be very, very, very minimal editing in this episode. I think the discussion was so organic, and I don't want to do anything to change that. So I hope that you enjoy. And if you decide to pass up on this episode, I hope that you have a beautiful, amazing, fantastic day, and we'll see you in the next one.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
It's all like neatly organized and everything.
Can I be you?
Right.
Meanwhile, your
My
curtains
bookshelf.
open and everything.
Yes.
My clothes. I perpetually
My-
change my room around.
Your
My
cat.
cat is joining us.
Oh, hi.
What's your cat's name, Eliza?
That's Toll House.
like the
Whole
chocolate?
house?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, like the stuff Phoebe uses for her grandma's cookies.
Yep.
That's. Does your cat have a nickname?
Just Toll House. No.
Just
Whole
toss.
house. I like it.
love that.
It was easier for the kids to say than Toulouse.
Yeah.
So, like the Aristocats, he was
Yes.
supposed to be Toulouse, but ended up as Toll House.
Toll House.
That's amazing. I
I love that so
absolutely love
much.
that.
How are you,
Okay.
Eliza?
Yes, how are you?
Good. I'm tired.
I'm just gonna run,
We've-
check on my son.
Yeah.
I'll be right back. Sorry.
She has her kid this morning, so she's like in and out, and Daniel has
Oh my
already.
goodness.
So he's like, ooh, he's 16 months old now, I think. So he woke up from his
Oh.
nap. So she had to get him. She put him down, and he ran into the table. And I'm like, yeah, this is motherhood. And
Yeah.
I guess I might as well do like the housekeeping with you while
Yeah.
she is running around. So we don't really have anything planned. We don't have an outline. We don't have
Okay.
formal questions back and forth, but we just try to keep it as like a kind of chat between friends who enjoy the same things, right? Which is books.
Yes. Yes.
But if there's anything at all throughout this episode while we chat that you feel like, oh, I shouldn't have said that, or shit, I spoiled the Echoist, or something like that.
Okay.
In fact, I want to grab the books before we like get into it.
Yeah.
Then you can just let us know and Tyler will edit it out. But I want to assure you
Okay.
that we don't edit our episodes to change meaning in any way at all. It's really just like if somebody tells us, oh, you know what, like I shouldn't have mentioned this. Can you take that out? Absolutely, because we want nothing more than for you to feel comfortable.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Yes,
hopefully come
100%.
back one day.
Yes.
And then Tyler, while I grab the books, will you tell her about the IT stuff?
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so with Riverside, we all kind of have shoddy internet nowadays. If it freezes, if it glitches, just keep going as normal. Riverside's actually really good about like kind of piecing that together in
Oh, good.
production. So we don't really have any issues there. If I pop off like I just kind of did, I just put a finger up and say mute, just continue going. I will pop back on. It is fun. My husband normally takes my son, but today he had to help his
Mhm.
brother out with a toy selling thingy in Calgary. So his brother,
I just realized.
What kind
Yeah.
of toy?
like literal Pokemons and stuff like that. He has a
Never
big
I'm gonna go
mind.
shut my bedroom door.
Shut
because
your
Sounds
my kids are-
good.
Toy selling. I
yeah,
like that.
like collectibles. Like
Oh, okay.
he has boxes upon boxes upon boxes that his family's like, get rid of it.
Rid of it.
So they're at a
Uh-huh.
toy sale convention right now. So yeah, I have my little
Okay.
Daniel. Actually, I just took a picture and I wanted to share it with you guys because I was like, I hope he's okay. And he's literally like,
Oh, he's chilling like a villain.
yeah.
He's okay.
He's fine. He's watching Kung Fu Panda. I'm doing the like bad mom thing.
That
put
is
up in
not.
the movie.
Stop talking to yourself like that.
Yep.
Ah,
That's
I
not a
mean,
bad mom thing.
I think my kids have watched K-pop Demon Hunters like 3 times a day since I came out.
Same, Eliza. Same in our house on 3 different devices. They'll have it on their separate iPads. It'll also be on the TV,
Yeah.
and it'll be
oh
on
my
our
god!
like the soundtrack will be
Yes.
playing on the way to school in the morning.
Who
Are
else
you
is gonna
sick of
steal
it?
the Han Moon?
God damn, that's
Gotta
crazy.
save the Han Moon.
I still have no idea because I still haven't watched it, but maybe
Ugh.
Daniel will enjoy it.
He will.
Yeah?
Yeah, come. Let's draw you into our cult.
No, thank you. I don't
K-pop
want to,
demon.
because I know I'm gonna enjoy it. I was a big Disney girl in my early 20s.
It's so
like
good.
Wizards of Waverly
so good, it
Place
really
and the
is.
Hannah Montanas and all that stuff. And I feel like it's giving that same type of vibe, just animation, and I'm probably gonna be sucked right in. So I'm
will
resisting
be.
for right now.
It's worth
It's-
it. It's worth it.
And
It's
you know
'cause
what?
it's popular. I'm like, no.
No, but it is
Fair.
it is worth the hype is deserved. It is so good. And all of my
Yeah.
children love it. Like my 6-year-old son all the way to my 11-year-old daughter. They're all like and my son is actually the one, "Hey mom, can you play Idol?"
Really?
Yeah. He's the
Yes.
one who's requesting the soundtrack in the morning. He loves
Oh
it.
my gosh, that's
Yeah.
so crazy.
And we have like the
Yes.
Netflix profile pictures. They all have the different characters from K-pop Demon Hunters. And it's like at first they made me the cat, and I was like, "What?" My husband was Genu, and then my kids were.
You were the cat? That's so fitting, though. Is
And the cat's name is
cute?
Derpy. No.
Okay.
Not okay. I was like, "Why am I the cat?" And then they made me the bird, and I was like, "I like the bird."
I think it's because you're, I don't know. That's
I don't know.
nurturing. Cats and birds?
Yeah,
I'm
but
trying to
once you
spin
see
it.
the movie, you'll understand.
Yeah.
You'll understand.
Is it like Hey Hey from Moana, where it's just this chicken that tries to
Yes.
kill himself all the time?
It's kind of like that.
Actually, yeah, kind of.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess let's
Let's
get
get going.
into it. Our podcast is I don't know, JV, did you do your housekeeping where it's just like, we don't really have any kind of a script. We're just here to hang out, just chit chat.
Yep.
I did that.
Okay,
You did
perfect.
the tech stuff, right?
I did do the tech stuff, right?
Okay.
Yeah,
Yep,
okay, good.
you did.
God damn.
It's
I'm
not a
brief.
first episode today. Oh, and I haven't changed my outfit again.
Do you
We're
want to
just
go change?
No,
Okay.
it's fine.
We are the most professional podcast you'll ever be on.
Clearly.
Just so you
I
know.
love it. I love it.
Okay. Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of Little Prince. Today we have somebody very special on.
Very special.
And very special to JV, I
Yes.
know personally. So without further ado, JV, would you like to introduce our guest today?
I would like to introduce our guest today. We have
Our desk?
our guest. See, that's why I'm derpy on the Netflix profile. Our guest today, we have the Eliza Ann on, who is I call her a trauma romance author. Although I know, and I want to get into it, you're kind of like veering a little bit in the future, right? So we're
am.
going to get into that. But I met you as a trauma romance author, and I'm so excited to have you on today because, like, you're very special to me. You probably don't realize this, but you really are. But welcome.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
And it's especially fun to have you on because it's October, and you always do
Yes.
something really, really special in October.
Mhm.
And so I think that kind of flows into how you're special to me and how we connected and all the things. And I don't really know how to start off. So I wanna hold up the 2 books that I have of you. And aren't these covers like gorgeous?
Oh my goodness.
I know.
Those are
Beautiful.
so pretty.
So beautifully illustrated.
Hold up this one. So it's finished.
Yes.
The series is finished, and
The
this is the
Beacon.
3rd one. Yes.
Oh wow.
And you start with the
color
Echoist, right?
scheme.
Yes.
For those of you who are on audio, go on video because these books are beautiful.
Oh, they're so stunning. So stunning. So the Echoist is book 1, right? And then 17 Minutes is book 2. And then the
Yes.
Beacon is book 3, and that's the final
Yes.
book in the series.
Yes.
And we call them trauma romance because why? Do you want to kind of like give us a
So
background?
yeah. So the Echoist is not romance, and I've never sold it that way. It has heavy triggers because it is about domestic violence. And so the reason that I call the series as a whole trauma romance is because Tatum does get her happily ever after in The Beacon. So, and then 17 Minutes is Addie and James's story. It's just a novella. So I kind of call that one 1.5. But Addie, there is romance in that one, but it's still very traumatic, and it doesn't end with a conventional HEA. So I never sold it that way up until Beacon was done. And now that it does have an HEA, it's a romance. So I can market it that way. But yes.
Yep. And so you're on because you do this thing in October where every year you donate the royalties from the series, all your book sales, right, to a domestic violence shelter.
That's incredible.
And you've done this for how long?
So this is my 3rd year doing it, but I started it as soon as Echoist was published. So it was published in June of 2023.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so every October, I donate my royalties for Domestic Violence Awareness Month to a local shelter. And this year, I'm actually doing a different shelter than I did last year. So, but
Would you mind sending us the? Do you mind sending us the link so we can put that in the Spotify and the YouTube so people can donate as well?
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect.
I could send you the link to the shelters and everything. So.
That is so what made you write the series? Because okay. Before I let you answer the question, I'm like taking over. I'm so sorry. I met Eliza at Spicy Reads in Arizona last year, I think in September 2024. That was before I had published my first book, or maybe I had just published it.
You published it the day before because you weren't going to tell me you were an author.
I wasn't going to tell anybody.
And your friend was like, she just published a trauma romance book.
So embarrassing.
So,
but like Eliza, Justin, when we recorded our last episode, or no, actually 2 episodes ago, we were talking about how wonderful it is. Like when you have people, you find people who don't gatekeep, and you've been kind of that for me. Like I remember we chatted like deeply at that convention. You had your husband there and his friend, and they didn't want to like walk around shirtless, even though they totally should.
They were being asked. Would have sold more books.
They did. They were just hanging out. And I'm like, what is this? You guys are like the models, like shirt off. You had a spicy romance ring on. And they're like, no, super shy. But anyways, you were so kind. You like invited me to this author chat group, and I've made some amazing connections, and we're still in touch. And I so appreciate your support. But I remember like chatting with you and the trauma romance aspect of things. And I mean, just so much insight. And so
connecting with you has been great because it's hard to find, like, especially in the romance author like community, just like the trauma authors, like, because like I said, Echoist is not a romance. It's not, and I've never marketed that way.
Like
so that's always
women's
been
fiction.
Yes. So women's fiction is what it falls under completely. Because it's just about Tatum. That one is just Tatum's story and everything she had to go through. So I never want anyone picking it up thinking it's a romance book, even though I'm friends with a lot of romance authors. So it is hard to, like, even the giveaway I just did. I had a lot of people be like, well, my book's not about domestic violence. I'm like, that's okay. And that's why I was very clear in the caption, like, please read the triggers. Like, mental health is so important to me. But I was so happy when you said that too, because it is harder to find like the trauma side of it. And so
I remember chatting with you at Ravens, and I think we kind of talked origin of these 2 books, and you were like, well, I'm actually not like Tatum. I'm more like Tatum's friend, right? Because you kind of wrote the story for or about a friend of yours who was going through something like that.
Yes.
Right?
So that was, I've always, like, I took creative writing in college. It was just something I've always been interested in. I've always enjoyed writing. I never like imagined I'd be an author. I always wanted to write a book though. And so she called me one day and told me something her husband had done to her. And I said, and it's wild to me now, but I sat there and I said, I'm going to write a book for you. And through it, I found out I wasn't just writing a book for her. So Tatum is for her. Tatum and Reese are written, you know, in that like point of view because of who they are. And I wanted to stay true to their characters. Obviously, it's fiction. So nothing in it is like real stories, but it is what happens to women
Inspired
every
by
day.
all the time.
And
Yeah.
like, so that's when I realized, and especially after I published, and the messages that I would get, and like how people would tell me like what they've been through. I became a safe space, and I'm so thankful for that. But I became a safe space for people to share their stories with me, and it's crazy, and it's so sad. It's heartwarming, but it's so sad, especially as an empath, that
Yes.
anyone goes through it.
Yes.
Because people would share with me things they experienced from their abusers and all of that. And especially as an empath, like I would sit and cry reading these messages because it shouldn't happen.
I know.
It shouldn't happen. And it's so common.
So common. And what I love about personally for me, and I'm sure you can relate to that, writing these trauma romances, anything traumatic happening, it's abuse, especially inflicted by someone else, regardless of what kind of abuse it is, right? Sexual abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse, financial abuse, whatever. A lot of the time, and some of the reviews I've gotten was like, well, why don't they just leave? I mean, it's like a common refrain, right?
Yes.
So common. And it's like the psychology behind it and being able to, hello, Daniel-san, being able to tap into that, right? I mean, it's deeply, I don't know if satisfying is a word, but I don't know. It's like more stories like this need to be told, and women need to understand how common it is, that there's nothing they did to bring this upon themselves. Nothing they do warrants abuse. They're not deserving of it, regardless of how heated a situation gets, right? But just being able to touch upon all these aspects.
That's why it was so important to me to put Bryce's point of view in it.
Yeah.
So because it is dual point of view, I wanted to show the point of view of the narcissist.
Yes.
And why it's so easy for people to fall into what they say and how they act. And because narcissistic personality disorder is real.
Yes.
And people think they're so great. Like, oh, that would never happen. Oh, well, what did you do? I mean, that's what I wrote it in the book, because that's what people are told. Like, oh, what did you do to make them mad? I've never seen them act like that before. Well, no, of course you haven't, because my abuser is still, everyone thinks that she's a great person. And I mean, they wouldn't know. I wrote this book and people are like, are you okay? And I was like,
actually, I'm not.
Yeah.
Doesn't, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I want you to finish your
I was
thought.
just going to say, it was kind of like a trauma dump, and it was heavy. It was a lot. Yeah. And so that's just what I wanted to show, is like, because like you said, people think it's so easy. Well, why don't you just leave? Yeah. Because it's not safe most of the time. It's not safe.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, statistically speaking, right, the most dangerous time for a woman to leave an abusive relationship is, or for the most dangerous time for a woman in an abusive relationship is the time she leaves, because that is when most of the homicides happen. It's like, if I can't have you, no one will. Right. Yeah.
And that was the biggest part of why I wanted to explain Echoism, but I didn't want it to feel like a self-help book. I wanted people to realize what Echoism was with it being fiction, because so many people can relate to Tatum in a sense that echoists are drawn to narcissists. So statistically, when you leave an abusive relationship, you generally get back into one.
Yes.
It like, based on statistics, you're just drawn to narcissists. And again, that's sad, and it shouldn't be that way. And that's why, if you can realize you're an echoist and start healing from that, then I think that, that's what Tatum had to do.
Yes.
Tatum didn't want to get with anyone else. That's why The Beacon's such a slow burn, because I want it to be realistic. I know statistically women tend to get with abusive partners again after leaving relationships like that. And so it was hard for me to write Tatum in that sense, because I didn't want people, I want it to be realistic. I always want people to relate to it. That's why she waited so long. That's why it's a year later, So she needed time to heal herself without
I
Yeah.
love that. I love that the
So,
realism is so important because I
yes.
think you know, I always hate to sort of pull or draw on other examples, right? But so for me, when I read It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover, who also deals with domestic violence in that book, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I was so dissatisfied with how that part was handled and how quickly the FMC moved on and like made peace with it all, and because I was like, it's so gratuitous, right? And it's so easily wrapped up, and it doesn't work that way in real life, like
And
at all.
I think that's why people are so quick to say, well, why don't you just leave? There's better.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, trust me, like we
We
know
know.
this. Like we know there's better. But mentally, like it's not just physical, like mentally. These are disorders. There's echoism personality disorder, a narcissistic personality disorder. Like this isn't something that's so simple, and like you said, when it is time to leave is the most dangerous time to leave.
It is. And most of the time, I mean, what people have to understand is like when you see these movies, when you read about them, right? I mean, we only have a brief period within which to describe what is happening. But in a truly abusive relationship, the first hit, the first shove, the first punch doesn't happen on the first date. There's a lot of conditioning that goes into that abusive relationship beforehand. And we know that abusers tend to isolate their victims, right? They make them financially and emotionally dependent on them. And it evolves into this type of situation where the abused victim cannot leave. They cannot physically, aside from the fact that it's dangerous, but they just no longer have the means to
They
do
lose
that.
all their support system. He made her a stay-at-home mom. Like, and the gaslighting.
Yes.
There's a scene that I wrote where he does something very, very terrible, and Tatum's like, well, it was my fault.
Yes.
And even writing stuff like that was hard for me knowing, but it's just, it does get frustrating. It was meant to be frustrating because I wanted to show the realistic side of it.
Yeah. And it's echoed by society a lot of the time, right?
Yes.
I mean, when you see things like that, and then the comments will be like, well, what did she do to piss him off like that? Nothing she did warrants abuse.
Exactly.
Nothing.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
It sounds like I haven't personally read any of your books, and JV is really the only trauma romance author that I've ever read. But it sounds like you guys have the same bones when it comes to your book. Like JV's second book is about post-trauma and healing from that, and how, and I mean, her second book is chunky because it is a very, very, very long process to get through finding yourself again, finding your worth again, finding all of that again. And it sounds like you did the same thing with your second, or your third book, first and third, because you said the second was a novella, right? So it sounds like you took the time to, you know, explain, like you said, echoism and all that stuff. And I think my son's kissing a mirror. He loves himself.
He loves self-love.
I think yes, we love self-love here. I think bipolarism totally factors into all of that too, because like I was in an abusive relationship where he was the grand prince to everybody else except for me, and he was like, yeah, I have bipolarism, and yet people still were like, no, he's not like that. And I'm like, he literally said that he has been clinically diagnosed with multiple personality disorder, and yet you don't believe that he has a different side to him.
That's
so
what
yeah,
narcissists do. They're so good at
I think
manipulating.
narcissism and bipolarism have to be one.
Oh,
They have to be connected, because I don't think that you can be a narcissist without being bipolar. Just because you have to have two different faces, like with the person you're with, and then the people that you are the person you are outside of that. But I'm not a doctor. That's just my own personal experiences with domestic violence and trauma and stuff like that. And like you said, a lot of it is conditioning in the beginning. Like I went from free-spirited Tyler, yellow hair, punk rock, Avril Lavigne style to he had I don't know if I want to get too much into it, but I didn't look like a mom, and I should have looked like a mom. So my whole personality, my whole wardrobe changed to be more adult, to be more to fit to the narrative. And looking back, I'm like, not that person anymore, and I can't believe that I was that person, you know, in that
So
situation.
I relate to
So,
that so much, actually. And so my abuse happened in my childhood. So for 17 years of my life, I was abused verbally, physically, mentally. Like, I mean, I was the one who said, like, oh, well, this is normal. And then you get out of it and you're like, oh my God, that was not
Not
normal. Like,
normal.
that shouldn't have happened.
no.
So I realize now how you said that you're a different person. Like, you've completely changed. So I realize how conditioned I was, and
Mhm.
how what happened to me was so ingrained in me, and the thoughts and feelings and values that my abuser had was beaten into me, and I had to believe that way, and I had to think that way. And I go back through my Facebook posts, my memories and stuff, and I see the things that I was praised for and all of that. And it's just like, and now I am more at peace than I've ever been in my entire life. And a lot of it was because of writing these books.
I was
Yeah,
just gonna
it's
say,
very
was the writing
cathartic.
Yeah.
cathartic?
A lot of my family doesn't speak to me anymore, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, once you
Yeah,
realize how much
because they stood
peace there
by.
is.
They don't
Exactly.
deserve to be a part of your life
No.
anymore. And I feel like as much as you are at peace, you are probably rock solid. No
Mhm.
one will fuck with you ever again.
Right.
No one
And
will ever put you in that position because
the way I block
you won't
people
let it.
now, the way
Yeah.
that I have so many people blocked, because it's my peace. And I read
Yeah.
a book once that said, if you're watering someone else's garden, yours is dying. And that's what I was
Yes.
doing. I was just doing everything for everyone. Even writing this book, I said, I'm going to write a book for you. I
Yeah.
never wrote a book for me, for my own healing, until I became Addie, and then realized how much healing there was in it. At the end of the day, I still became an author for someone else again. And I don't regret it. I have no regrets. But it's like I was still doing everything for everyone, because I was always made to believe that I was lesser than, and that I
Yeah.
was so belittled. And I had a college
Yeah.
softball scholarship, and I was told that it was a pity scholarship. Like, when you think about stuff like that, when you're told that your entire life, it's crazy that I'm 30. I just turned 30,
Mhm.
and I'm just now coming out of it. And so I went through my angry stage of healing. But yeah, like you said, those people don't deserve access to me, because
No.
I was a child. Like, someone's like, well, I was
Mhm.
scared of her. I was a
So was
child. Like,
I.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I couldn't do anything for myself. So now that's why I'm a strong advocate for, especially the shelters, because women having a safe space for their babies and their children, and being able to take them, like, that's something that matters to me, because had
Mhm.
that not happened for them, like, I want to do what I wish someone would have done for me.
Yeah.
And that's, like, my only hope. And I'm not trying to make that a sob story. Like, it is just, that is why it's so important to me, because I was that child. So
Totally. When you
I can
say
do
that
better.
you wrote a book for somebody else and then you found yourself in Addie, do you think that these books are now for you? Like they're for somebody else
Mhm.
in the technical aspect, but you found so much of yourself in a character that you were writing, which I have to assume, I'm not a writer, but JV has stated this before, where it's just she's found it's so cathartic to get it out, to put it
Yes.
on paper out of my brain and in full description sometimes because you need to get like all of that out. Do you find that these books now are more a part of you than they were for the person you were writing them for?
Yeah, so it's crazy that, and I think a lot of my own personal healing when I was writing it, it's almost so, when you go through a bunch of trauma and you trauma block it, like, that is our brain's
Hmm.
way of protecting us. I can only remember probably about 10 to 15% of my childhood. So I would write, and I would go, like, I would write at work, right? And I would just write, I'd be fine. I wouldn't cry. I just wrote scenes. Well, I come home and I read them out loud to my husband. And while I was reading them out loud, I broke those trauma blocks and realized I was writing what happened. So I would have to change the scene to make it,
Wow.
because I didn't want it to be real. It needed to be
Yeah.
fiction. I was selling it as
Yeah.
fiction, and that's the way it ended up. But I would write these scenes and I'm like, oh my gosh, that happened to me. And then I would go through like Facebook and find pictures of like the times that happened and realize that like that was the biggest part for me of putting in like where the family looked so happy.
Yeah.
Because these pictures that I would find literally the day that things happened to me, I was a kid just smiling in a picture. I was a, happy little family photo. So things like that are just, I had to change it. And I think that's when I realized, oh my gosh, I am, writing this for me because these things happened to me. Like, so.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I so relate to that. It's interesting because um I had a very similar childhood, and it's so interesting because my mom passed on 5 years ago, and I guess just the psychology behind it all, right? I mean, the whole idea of you still have love, and you probably still care in some way for the person who hurt you growing up, right? But then also how differently other people in your surroundings perceive things.
Yeah.
Because for me it was my mother, and so after the fact my dad and I talked, and I mean I told him like these things that happened weren't okay, but my dad was like the complete opposite. He's always so loving and expressive in his love, and he was like the calm, quiet, like just steady. And he's like, well, I hope that I counteracted some of that by telling you guys how much I loved you. And I was like, yes and no, because while I appreciate you being so open with your love for me, what I really needed in that moment was your protection. I needed you to step in and stop it, not let it happen, and then after the fact console me about it.
Right.
So that's
Right,
such an interesting.
I would love to talk to. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No.
There's a little thing that connects the mic to my desk, and he's like pulling on us. So I had to be on mute for a little bit. But I think I would love to talk to somebody who was a bystander in domestic abuse. Their reasoning. Yeah, okay, you were scared. Scared of what?
Yeah.
Really? Because these people, no, absolutely not. Those people, or the kids who went through this, or adults that went through this, there's people who watched the domestic abuse that I went through and still didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Why? What is your reasoning?
Yeah.
Do you? This is such a deep episode, and my son is literally laughing. I'm so sorry.
He's providing the relief.
It's comedic relief.
Gosh.
No, I do wonder that too. And so I'm also from Arkansas, and my family held very Southern values where I've realized like I had to come out of because none of that was okay. And so in a sense, it's that whole, well, children should be disciplined. Well, that wasn't discipline. It wasn't like what happened. So I left Arkansas. Thank goodness. But I have a lot of trauma just from like, and I don't know how deep we can get in on this episode or what I'm
we can go as deep as we want. You're not going to be censored, but yeah.
It's like I had told my mom one time, so all of my abuse came from my stepmom. And so I told my mom one time, because we weren't with her as children, that I had religious trauma. And as someone who is in the church, she was very confused. She's like, well, I don't understand. And so I have epilepsy.
Yeah.
And
did they think you were possessed?
They said I was speaking in tongues. So I had seizures for 7 years before they took me to a neurologist. Because I was speaking in tongues, because I don't have grand mal seizures. So I believe they're tonic-clonic or clonic-tonic, either way. So I space out and I walk around and talk. I haven't had one. My medicine controls them. I'm on medication now, and I haven't had one in almost 11 years. But just like things like that, it normalizes it.
Yeah.
The beliefs that they had normalized it, of spare the rod, spoil the child. And that's so hard when you become a mom. Like now that I do have kids, it is very hard to, like understand why they could do that. Like, I look at my babies, and like I was a baby when this, like I was literally 17 years of my life. And I just don't understand.
Yeah.
Like, I don't.
I'm assuming that there is sort of a cyclical pattern to it, right? So that
Yes.
your stepmother was
Yes.
raised a certain way and it's just perpetuating the cycle. And I
Mhm.
feel that because my mother grew up with that kind of
Yeah.
stuff in her background too. So it was very
Yes.
normal. And then I became a parent and I'm the complete opposite. And I'm sure I'm overcompensating in a probably not always healthy way.
Mhm.
And how I raise my children, but I will
Right.
not lay a hand on them. I will not.
No.
I
Mhm.
refuse.
I don't understand it.
Yeah.
I don't know where this mindset comes from, and like, to cause them pain. I don't want my children to be afraid of me. I want them to be respectful. And I cried,
Totally.
and I feel like the moment that I became, like, even I found out I was pregnant, I just sat in the bathroom and cried because I didn't know how to be a mom.
Yeah.
I didn't know, like, I was terrified, but all I knew is I didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
So I read
broke
the
the cycle.
books, and I
Yeah.
listened to the podcast, and I followed all the Instagram pages. And
Yeah.
it's sad that I had to learn to be a mom from Instagram, but at the same time, like, it does come natural. People say it comes natural, and it does, because at the end of the day, I also know I could never do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's
So
so
You
funny.
choose to break the cycle, though.
Yes.
It's a conscious decision where you're like, I am not going to
Yes.
be anything
Very
like my
much.
mother.
Yes.
Very
And I
much.
And
think
it's
that
hard. It's so
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah. And you
Just
still
a
think you're
really
doing it
quick
wrong.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I was raised Christian,
Mhm.
and in Christian beliefs, there's spankings.
Yep. That's what we were talking about.
Sometimes, oh, sorry, yeah, because I had to pop off for a quick
No,
second.
You're
you're
good.
fine.
I feel like it's such a thing that's built in. This is gonna sound bad. I don't care. This is such a thing that's built into religion to punish your children in that sense. And I think that it's so easy to go overboard. Sorry, mom and dad, but I was beat with many different things.
Mhm.
Spoons, belts, frying pans, pretty much whatever they could get their hands on, right? And that's normal. You grow up in a church, we
It's
grew up
normal.
very
Yep.
Christian. And that's how is it normal? I don't know, but I think that Christianity or any type of religion that supports punishment in that way is the reason why we grow up with so
Mhm.
much trauma.
Yep.
Because as soon as my parents got kicked out of their church because they got divorced, things changed.
Yeah.
It was like a switch that flipped. But I think that for some reason, it's just okay to beat your child. And I see
It's
it on posts
normalized.
on social media. Yeah.
Yes.
It's like, oh, your kid's acting that way because you don't beat it. And it's like the other day, this is so off topic. We went to Walmart, me and Daniel, and he's running now. So I just let him chase me, and I chased him around Walmart for like 20 minutes. And some people were like, oh my God, that's so cute. And some people are like, your kid is crazy. And I'm like, yeah, he's a kid.
Yep.
We're having fun. And why would I get it's this or a meltdown? What would you prefer? Giggles or screaming? Because you can't have both.
And then if they're screaming, then you need to spank them, because that's
Exactly.
why
And you
they're
need to
screaming. Yep.
and there's a standard of, well, I was beat as a kid and that's why I'm a decent human being. Probably not.
You're probably not a decent
Probably
human.
not.
That's exactly
Exactly.
it.
You're not a decent human being because you're a people pleaser now, because you're afraid
Exactly.
that making
You're-
someone
yeah.
upset is going to cause physical pain.
It's either that
you're
or you're an
continuing the
abuser.
cycle.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's either or. And you know what? I saw someone say something like, I don't understand why some people advocate for bringing back like spankings even in school. Like, first of all, I don't want my kid being disciplined by anyone but me. But also I'm like, if you go out and you hit an adult, it's called assault and you can go to jail for
Yeah.
it. Why would we
Yes.
do that for someone whose brain isn't fully developed, who still relies on you for their emotional regulation? Like, they just can't. They can't.
Yep.
Why would you inflict physical pain on something that you are required to protect? It's
Yes.
upon
Yeah.
you. And I don't understand. And I don't understand there's this whole idea of like, beating your spouse. I mean, we can go deep into religion and all that
Right.
stuff.
That's why I was
And
like,
I was
I don't
like,
know what we can say.
we'll
I'll
say
do some trigger
whatever.
warnings. I'll do some trigger warnings at the
Perfect.
beginning of the episode and
Yeah.
be like, this is a deep one, guys. So
But I just don't get it. I'm like, we're all human. Like nobody
Yeah.
wants to have pain inflicted on them unless it's in the bedroom and I say, yes, baby, spank me, daddy. That's
Right?
different.
Consent.
Consent,
Yes,
for crying out loud.
consent.
But we don't just go around punching our coworker in the face because they pissed us off. Why are we doing that to our 2-year-old, for crying out loud?
And that's the thing
Yeah.
that frustrates me about people telling me that, well, if you would just, you know, beat their ass. That's what I get told all the time from my family. Like, oh, they need their spankings. Well, the thing is, they're tired. First off, that's why
Yeah.
she's
Mhm.
crying and throwing things and being upset, is because she's tired and
Yeah.
she just needs to go to sleep. Because when I'm tired or when I'm hungry, like we
Cranky
joke
too.
about being hangry, why are we
Mhm.
allowed to do that?
Yes.
But then
Yep.
we expect physical punishment for it from children. And I guess they are tiny humans with big emotions.
Yes.
And we are big humans with big emotions. And we're supposed to be teaching them how
Yep.
to handle
Mhm.
and label and express those feelings. And my biggest thing with my son, because I am raising a boy, and that's terrifying, honestly.
Yep.
Raising a boy, and we've taught him since he was 2, since he could talk, to label his emotions. I'm very frustrated. I'm very angry. What's wrong? Take a deep breath. Like if you're frustrated, he literally has an emotions chart on his
Yep.
board, because I'm not going to raise a man who's going to punch walls when he's mad. And I'm
Thank
not
you.
like, and
Good.
all we could do is better. Know
Yes.
better, do
Yep.
better. But yeah, and I don't care what people think about my son crying, or, you know, he's allowed to have emotions, because
Totally.
living in a society where we've forced men to suppress emotions is why women get abused.
I completely agree.
Mhm.
I
Like-
talk about that all the time with patriarchy and stuff, and I know you can
Mhm.
twist it like, oh, it's women and feminism, blah blah blah. No, dude, listen to me. Patriarchy does you no favors either.
Yeah.
It hurts you. It just hurts women first.
Right.
But
Mhm.
you're
And men's-
just a victim of it too, man.
Right. Men's
Yeah.
mental health is so important.
Yes.
I mean, and we ignore it
Yes.
instead of like normalizing that they're allowed to have emotions. Men
Yes.
suppress their emotions until they get to the point of suicide, or, you know,
Yes.
and it's more likely to happen in men. Like statistically, there are things that happen to men that shouldn't as well. Like, yes, women
Yeah.
are more likely to be abused, but men are more likely to commit suicide. And,
Yeah.
you know, it's just a fact. Like, those are just statistics, and we need better mental health help for them as well.
Yeah. We need to raise our children
Yes.
differently. We need to
Yes.
get rid
Totally.
of these societal ideas of what is a man, what is a woman, what are these
Yes.
roles, it's bullshit. Yeah, my son, I have daughters and a son, and I can
Yes.
I can tell you, I mean, it's all equally scary, right? But we have
Mhm.
different concerns. I want my son to grow up to be a good, respectful man, and I want him to understand that he can show his feelings and stuff. And my husband is, I mean, such a green flag in all
Mhm.
aspects.
Mhm.
So he's fantastic. I'm like, I couldn't have picked a better role model for my son than my husband.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, I'm with you.
And
All the
also, I
things.
think like my son, he's 18 months. He doesn't really know much. And I do, like you said, when you got pregnant, you listened to the podcast, you learned off of Instagram. And you know what? There are definitely times where I'm like, I would like to throw this child out the window.
Oh, for sure.
But that's because I'm
It's-
having a big
yes.
feeling while he's having a big feeling. And I love those educational videos where it's like, he literally can't do anything else right now. He is in paralysis
Yes.
mode. He doesn't understand why he's at this state, and all he can do is scream and cry about it. And I'm like, okay, cool. That teaches me that, okay, I need to, and I have triggers,
Yes.
you know, as an abused person, like I have, and I need to identify those triggers, and I need to be okay with those triggers. And I'm still learning, and I'm only 18 months in. But it's just, those educational videos I think are so helpful
Yes.
for moms like me, because then I go, okay, well, he's not just being like this because he wants to be a brat, even though he doesn't even know what a brat is. He's so
Mhm.
young. So okay, what do I need to do as a parent, as a mom, to regulate my emotions so that he can mirror me? And also, I think that if we raise sons that are respectful and appreciative, like this is so dumb, but I'll clean his room while he's taking a nap, or I'll do his laundry, and I'll show him like, Mama did your laundry, you know, put it away, stuff like that, because I want to raise a son who appreciates everything that a woman
Yes.
does. He comes home to a cooked meal. Guess what? She probably had a day and she still put food on the table for you,
Yes.
or he, or whatever, right? And it's just teaching him to
be empathetic, be appreciative, be respectful, have his emotions. Emotions aren't bad. And like
Right.
my husband's also really good with it too. He's like, sometimes he's like, take him because I can't and I need to remove myself from the situation. I'm like, okay, cool. Time for me to step in and figure out where we're gonna go from here. But sometimes he just needs to scream. Sometimes I need to scream. Sometimes I need to sit in my room and cry for 30 minutes,
Well, it made sense to me because one of the things I read, and I'm not a doctor, again, this is all just research I had to do to be the mom that I want to be. But I had read something once that you get triggered by what you got in trouble for. So if you're a kid, if
100%.
you're the I'm going to give you something to cry about kid, when your kids are breaking down screaming, that's when you get most triggered. And that's when your nervous system freaks out.
Yeah.
And so
that makes total sense.
Doesn't it make sense? Like you read this stuff,
So
you're like,
much
oh
sense.
my gosh. And so, yeah, because that's what triggers me the most. And I have to take deep breaths. I will stop, and they know that I'm overstimulated or very frustrated. I will stop and I will take a deep breath, because if I don't regulate myself first, how are they going to?
Yep.
What's the point in screaming at each other?
Yep.
And so, like, you just you have to stop sometimes too. And I mess up, and I know that, and then I cry at night because I'm afraid that I'm going to traumatize my children.
But see, the difference is so, I mean, we're not perfect, right? And I'm the same way. I get triggered by the whining. It's a particular pitch.
The same noise over and over and over. And I don't know what trauma that is, but it's
probably because we got in trouble for it, like Eliza just said, right? But I think what the difference is, we're still going to fuck up. I still yell at my kids because I get overstimulated, all the things. But the difference is, I know I messed up, and I will go to them and I apologize.
Always.
And I tell them, I am so sorry. I shouldn't have done that. I'm the adult. Mommy got really overstimulated, and I'm so sorry, and I'll try to do better. My mother would have never apologized.
I don't think I ever got apologized to.
No.
Ever.
No.
I wrote that in Echoism. There's a scene where her therapist says, I'm sorry for what you went through, and she just stops because she's never been told that before.
Yeah.
No one has ever said that. No one's ever said, I'm sorry, it never should have happened to you. Because we've normalized it, honestly.
Yeah.
And that's what I have to tell. Like, nobody cares about my trauma, because at the end of the day, we all have to be adults, and there's so many of us walking around with this trauma.
Sure.
And so I can't project my trauma into the world. All I can do is be better. And so that is one of the biggest things for me, is not using my trauma to victimize myself, but using my trauma to be better and raise better children. Because if I can do that,
and produce
that's
amazing books, from what it sounds like.
Yeah. I think that's so cool, because when we had Brandon Francis on, I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he's a audiobook narrator. And he was telling this thing about how people would say, like, hurt people, right? And sure, you can, but ultimately I'm still very much a believer, like, you get to make that choice. Like, you don't decide what kind of adult you turn out to be. No, you get to decide. The other people who abuse you don't decide that for you. So you still get to make that choice if you're going to keep bleeding on people or if you're going to be better. So
that is one of my most highlighted, the highlighted quotes in the Echoist is when Lynn tells Tatum that she's sorry for what she went through. She didn't get a choice as a child, but now that she's an adult, she does. Yeah. And that says a lot. That's one of my most popular highlights, is that when she told her that you didn't get a choice as a child. And I wrote that. I wrote what I wish someone would have told me. I say that all the time. Like, I wrote what I wish I would have been told, because I think other people needed to hear it.
Yes.
And so with that, especially in that scene, was I made it clear and upfront to my husband when we met. My husband's a green flag. He's so supportive. I said I was going to write a book, and he's like, okay, went and got a laptop and a desk and, like, set me up, So, like, he's always been my biggest fan, especially with this stuff. He comes to the signings and he does all the things.
He does, but he didn't want to be on your cover for your Christmas novella.
He did it.
So lame, husband.
He is a green flag, so I want to make that known. But I told him when we met that that's one thing I don't care. I don't, like, growing up in a religious household, divorce is just so, like, but I said one time, like, I didn't get a choice as a child. I didn't get to decide as a child, like, I'm not going to choose to be unhappy as an adult. Because why would I?
Yeah.
For 17
Good.
years of my life, until I'm what? I'm not good at math. Until I'm 35, I will have been abused for more than half of my life.
Yeah.
Why would I do that again?
Yeah.
You know, I didn't get that choice as a
Yeah.
child. So now I'm an adult and I'm going to choose to be happy. And I'm not going to let people come and take that away from me. Like, I mean, I'm protecting my peace. And like I said, there's a lot of people I don't talk to anymore. And that's okay.
It's
It's okay.
totally
Mhm.
okay.
It
You
sucks.
get to set that boundary.
Yes. I've always
Totally.
said, like, you know, mourning someone who's still alive is very different.
Yes.
It happened with my dad. My dad was in the military. He came home from Afghanistan, but I always tell people that's the day I lost my dad. He never actually came home. Like, my dad was military and he was a truck driver, so that's where the abuse came in when he was gone. Because my dad was very loving. I always say, like, I think he wanted to love us, he just didn't know how. Because he also came from the Pentecostal background and the abuse and all of that. And he would be the only reason we didn't get abused, or the only reason we got to do something fun. And so with that, and I know there was a lot of stuff that went on between him and his wife that was projected onto us. And I know now as an adult looking back that, like, he wasn't always a great guy. I understand that. But, like, he did pass away about 5 years ago. And I had mourned him before I lost him, if that makes sense. Like, there is nothing harder than mourning someone who's still alive and wondering, like, should I text them for their birthday, or should I, you know, like, when you
Yes.
have the ability to. And now I can't talk to him, and that's on me. But, like, it's hard to know that those relationships are gone forever.
Yeah.
But also, like, especially with where I am at in my life and with my children, I have to worry about my four walls.
Absolutely.
And that's my husband and my kids. And so,
Yep.
and my husband has done more for me. This was the biggest part of the beacon for me, is that a man did not heal me. And I didn't want Tatum to feel that way. No one healed her. He gave her a space where she was no longer in fight or flight, where she didn't have to live in a fearful state, to where she could heal herself. And they could not be together until she was healed, because that was one of the most important parts. So yes, he created this safe space for her. He was her safe space, but he didn't save her.
Yeah.
And that was what I wanted to portray the most. I didn't want a man swooping in and, you know, saving the day and helping her heal all her trauma, because at the end of the day, no one can do it for us.
Correct. Very true.
No. And I think that creates a dependency on that person, and that becomes a toxic relationship.
Yes.
If you see that person as, well, you saved me, I can't be with anybody else, I don't know how to function on my own without you, and then that relationship won't last either, you know?
And that's how
So,
echoists get drawn in to more
yeah.
narcissists, is that savior complex. Well, I saved you from this, you owe me. But yeah, I realized that I'm an echoist. Started healing from that. And yeah, I'm not even close to the same person that I was even 3 years ago before I wrote this book. And I have found more people who support me and love me and care about people. Like, just the world in general, more people with empathy in this community, in the book community. I have found some of my best friends that I talk to every single day here. Because I think we all write a little bit of trauma. Like, we all write ourselves, you know, we had to heal ourselves. Yeah. And so I think that is one of the biggest, like, things about being in this community for me, is how much it's changed. And I would say the book community radicalized me, but am I allowed to say that? I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can say
I'm
whatever you want.
different because I got to be a person I was never allowed to be. And I realized that it wasn't because that's not who I am. It's because this is who I am. I was just praised for being someone else. And when you're an abused child and you get that level of praise, you don't get to be
your true authentic self.
Yes. So, and much better.
I really like that. So my all-time favorite book trope is always found family, and I still very much believe that. I like that saying, blood is thicker than water, and then educating people on what it truly means, because it's not the full saying, right? It's the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. So it on first glance, when you get, blood is thicker than water, it's like, oh, it means, always family, what you're born into, but it actually means the complete opposite. It's about the chosen family, which are your friends, your husband, your spouse, your partner, whoever, your children. It's the family you create for yourself in whichever shape, way, or form it comes, right? It doesn't have to be your parents, your siblings. It can be like
Yes.
Tyler, who is like a sister, honestly. And it's those kinds of relationships that, like, what you choose for yourself, that matters so much.
100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And I just want to say I'm so sorry that you went through that,
Yeah.
but I'm also so proud of you
Thank
for
you.
the person that you are today, because it is so hard to break that cycle. Sometimes it's easier just to continue the way that you were raised, and it takes a lot of strength and a lot of courage and a lot of healing to make a conscious decision that you're not going to be like how you were raised.
And it never
that's
really
amazing.
stops, right? I mean, as always,
Right.
I mean, you're probably going to be chewing on this for the rest of your life, which is so unfortunate.
100%.
Yep.
But
And that is why I hope that I can, do better for my kids so they don't do this. Like, I am perfectly fine with my kids never knowing about my childhood. Like, if they could not, if they just believe, that everything's great. Like, I mean,
rose-colored glasses.
Exactly. And I'm okay with that. And maybe, like, and one day they're probably going to ask, my son never really met my dad. My daughter was 3 weeks when he passed. So, like, they just don't really ask about it. And we were close before. But yeah, it's not something where they've been like, oh, where's grandpa or anything like that. So one day they're probably going to ask. They're still little.
Yeah, I have to say I always enjoyed finding out these things, like about my dad's childhood. It was a little different. It was more emotional than physical. And then finding out, it just explains so much,
Yes.
It explains so much.
But I hope that is that all they'll know is that mommy did better. That's the only thing I want for my kids, is just them to know that I tried my best and I tried to do better for them. So, but that is why I donate all my royalties and everything too, because it's not fair. And I don't make I don't make a full-time wage off my writing. I don't. Like, I sell books.
You
and that's
don't?
great,
You don't
but
mean to say that
no.
you were like a millionaire? Eliza, what?
It would be nice. That's where we all want to be, right? No, and I don't. And that's one great thing about my husband too, is that he doesn't care. Like, he also would rather help these women than, because my kids have a safe home. My kids have warm beds and, full bellies. And so it's not the same. And I've went to these shelters and I've toured them and I've worked with them, and I did a suicide prevention class at one of them, and we got to see the kids running around, and a lot of these kids were running around and they were so happy. And the shelters, like, take them places and do things with them and have a whole, like, schoolroom. And these kids, these are kids that may not know that, like, this lifestyle. And so it's important that we, as honestly a community and as people, recognize that not everyone has a safe space, and that it costs a lot to keep these shelters up and running. And that it's not cheap.
100%.
It's not cheap to feed these babies and to feed these women. And so if I can help, why wouldn't I? And so I can't afford to give everything all year. And maybe one day I will. Maybe I'll be able to donate. And that's the goal, right? Is to keep supporting them. But I was a keynote speaker at one of the universities here about domestic violence. And that's kind of what I told it. It was for social work students. So what I wanted them to understand is that social workers came to my house, but they didn't. She's a narcissist. Everything was fine. So at the end of the day, they didn't recognize that not every kid can speak up. Kids can't advocate for themselves. And so when they're at these shelters and they're in these safe spaces, like, that's what I would want for them. And so hopefully I can keep doing this, I am switching to sports romance. So
yeah, I was going to say, we're like an hour in and we're like, I know. Super, but I'm like, okay. So Eliza,
yes, I'll stop talking about that.
No, this is so great because
this is cathartic.
We never really know where an episode is going to go because we are unhinged and cringe, and we're not we're prepared, but we're not prepared.
Listen, I have listened
not structured.
to a few of your episodes. And
so you know how crazy it is.
Yes.
But so we never really truly know, and it's so fun because we will block schedule because we're all busy, right? We have kids, we have careers, we have things, and so we're like once a month, twice a month this month, but once a month we'll have a Saturday and we'll block schedule like 3 or 4 podcast episodes, and we never really know where it's going to go. And so I feel like by the time the 3 or 4 hours are up and we've talked to our people, we've gone through the gamut of we've laughed, like our faces hurt, we've like cried, we've gone deep. And so this is definitely like from the first 2 guests, complete 180, but this is so good because it's so insightful. And as someone again who right, like I relate. It's just this is like the human stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
We all have a story. We all have like our burdens and our things to carry. But I want to ask you about your sports romance.
Yes. So I'm completely switching, and it's because like I said, I'm a completely different person than I was. I never thought I'd be an author. I just wanted to sit down and write a book, and I found so much healing in it. So I'm done with it. I wrote the last line of The Beacon, and I sat and I cried for 15 minutes before I sent it to my editor, because like this is it's not just like a chapter. It's not just my books being over. It wasn't just a series being over. It was this entire chapter of my life. Yeah. Like everything I've went through to experience this healing that I have. And so football's something that I absolutely love. I've loved it my entire life. I get that from my dad. That's something we bonded over. I used to play football in middle school.
Nice.
So,
wow.
Flag football or tackle?
Yes. Tackle football.
Ooh,
and my brother.
Nice.
And so it's something I've always loved, and I always like said I wanted to write a sports romance, and I wanted to highlight men's mental health actually. So I'm staying in the trauma side of it.
Nice.
But, especially with athletes and sports athletes, and we hold them to these such high standards, and D1 athletes, and like people get so mad at them because they lost their bets because this kid who's 18, like these are kids. And so this isn't like what my book is about. Anyway, I'm not gonna go on that rant, but so I play college softball. My husband was a college football player. I wanted to bring softball into it. So the first book, softball, football, and then it's 4 roommates. So it's called the Roommates League, and it's going to follow like each of the male roommates. So they're the male books. Right now I have 2 of them playing softball. So the other ones haven't like popped up yet. I figure I'll meet them throughout the series.
You will.
I'm
a pantser?
Yep. So, So I'm like, oh, hi.
Wait, who are you? What's your name? My husband will randomly ask me. It's like, yesterday. And I think, Eliza, you saw my little reel. It's like, oh, I was supposed to finish draft 1 of a new book that I'm writing. But instead, I wrote 4,500 words for a totally different story. Yes. And my husband's like, and I was asking him some questions to bounce ideas off him. He's like, well, what's your FMC's middle name? And I'm like, she hasn't told me yet. That is literally, I'm like, they haven't told me. I don't know yet. I don't know yet.
That's
so
crazy
true.
to me.
And it's just it's like an epiphany. Like you're like doing dishes.
Yes.
And you're like, and they're like Marie, and you're like, oh, that's her middle name.
Duh, of course it is.
It's like your brain, you're in the shower, or you're driving, or you're doing the dishes. I was mowing my lawn when I like thought of the scene for The Beacon. Yeah. That's just how it works. And I tell everyone all the time, like they write themselves. They're like, oh, what's your book about? I'm like, actually, I have no idea. So,
I don't know.
I guess it's as good as mine.
How's it gonna end? I have no clue.
Yep, they'll tell me
It
when we
will
get
end
You
there.
and JV are very similar. Yeah, very, very similar. So you write trauma romance.
Mhm.
Is that what you enjoy reading? Like JV is like, give me all of the trauma. I want to feel
Everything.
everything.
Yeah.
Are you that kind of person? Or are
Break
you
me.
like, give me a fluffy romance because I don't want anything to do with
So
that?
actually, I'm a romantasy reader.
Yeah.
I will
Nice.
never write it. There's so much world building. I have so much respect for fantasy
Yeah.
authors because what they do and the amount of description they put into books and the worlds they create is
It's crazy.
incredible. So my favorite
Yeah.
series of all time is the Zodiac Academy, and
Which Tyler's reading right now.
I'm reading it right now. I just
okay, we're gonna be
started
here for
it.
2 more hours, so maybe don't.
Well, I just
Um,
started it, and I actually started on the wrong
Yeah.
book because I'm just a classic do
know.
not pay attention person.
You have them all back
So
there?
is Awakening the first book?
Yes, it is.
Uh,
Oh, hold
Well,
on.
I'm reading Gemini, whatever the Gemini one is first.
Okay, so
Oh, there.
Whoa!
these are all of my zodiac.
Wow.
Yeah, there's like 57 books in this
Really?
series.
I am. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Holy.
There's
12
a
at
lot.
least because it's the whole zodiac,
Mhm.
and then other ones that are off branch. So I have a question for
Yeah.
you then, as
Hit
a
me with
avid
it.
zodiac fan. Is it okay if I start with this book? So I'm reading the Taurian Darcy, the Gemini, because I went on Kindle and I was like Zodiac
Yes.
Academy, and it was like, this is the first one. And then I literally found out today that the Awakening is the first one. So
So
is it okay if I read this one first?
there's the Awakening, and then there's the Awakening as told by the boys. So it's the boys' point of view. So the
Ooh.
Awakening is important to start with because it explains their backstories and all of that. But there's also an Awakening as told by the boys because it is. I'm not going to spoil anything for you, but if you read triggers, do you read triggers or do you go in blind?
No, I don't read anything on a book. I
Not
look
even
at it,
the
go, that's
blurb.
pretty.
Okay, then I'll
Not
spare
even the
you
blurb.
all,
I don't read
but
anything.
the boys' point of view
Okay.
is so necessary and so worth it. And
Yeah,
I
because I'm
sit
getting
here
to
and I
meet
say like, oh man, like, but fictional men are better. Like,
Darius. Yeah.
Darius is my main man. Like, I know everyone's
I've
like,
heard that from a lot of
yes,
people.
like,
That girl reads on Instagram is like, this series is the best series I've ever read in my life. And I'm like, say less. So I started reading it.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm gonna have to pause this. Oh wait. It says The Awakening on the top.
yeah, if the
Wait,
Awakening.
is this the first one?
Yeah, that's the right one.
Oh. That was my chair. I didn't fart.
Sure.
No, but I actually love romantasy and I have so much respect for it. And Caroline and Suzanne are my favorite authors. Like, so
They write so, like, literally from the
Mhm.
first sentence, I was like,
it's so descriptive.
no, thank you. I was like, hooked.
Yeah.
Hook, line, sinker. Like, you write like an 18-year-old,
Yeah.
which I love
And they
because
are,
take
like,
me back there.
Yes.
Are they young?
So no, the characters, they
Oh.
write like the characters'
Yes.
age.
Yes.
And so like
Yeah.
that is what I like about it. But also it's so hit or miss. You're gonna have the people who say, and this is reading so subjective and everyone's
Yeah.
allowed that, like
Yeah.
so you have the hit or miss of people who absolutely hate the writing style. I mean,
Yep.
and I get it. I could see why people say that. For me, the story was fantastic. And it's like comfort for me because I was reading that series while I was writing The Echoist. And
Oh,
so
wow.
like that was just, I don't know, like full circle once I published, like, oh, this is cool. Like it's a book. So
Yeah.
but I love it. And I
No,
love
that's
them.
cool.
Someone called it rage bait, which it probably is. It's, you don't realize how dark it is because it is also like there is also comedic relief in it, but it is pretty dark. Like there's a lot
Yeah.
of trauma in it, and maybe that's why I like Darius so much. My guy.
I haven't gotten to know Darius very well. I'm at the point where they got to the academy and they've
Yes.
chosen their houses. So like I'm just getting into it, but
That's it,
like
yep.
it's so funny because I have a challenge this year, 2025, to read as many books as I am tall, and I'm 5'8". Why did I do that to myself? I do not know. I'm up to like my shoulder and I'm like, I need to get into something. I've been really busy with my shop and all of the things, so I'm like, I need to get into something. Of course, I pick up my Kindle and freaking choose a book that I don't have physically. So now I'm like, well, I'm gonna go to Indigo and I'm gonna buy like a set so that I have them physically because they're gorgeous. I walk by them all the time. But now that I know that, I love, because it's a dual POV, it has to be. Like, Suzanne has to write one character, and the other lady,
It's so crazy
sorry,
how
what's
they
her
write
name?
it. Caroline. Yeah.
Caroline has to write the other character, because it's two totally different, like, voices and vibes, and I love that. JV, I don't know. It's I don't know if it's romantasy. Is it Is it young adult?
Not young adult. It's
No.
pretty dark.
Okay.
It's pretty okay, up to the first 3 books. Once you get past book 3, then it gets pretty spicy.
Nice.
But
I'm here for that.
There's a lot of spice, and like I said, Darius is just
Darius.
I know. Like,
I see the pattern emerging.
I'm sure. Yeah.
If you ask my husband who my favorite book boyfriend is, he knows. Like, he knows it's Darius. There's no
Oh, wow.
There's no comparison.
I think I'm gonna like that a lot then. I'm so excited to.
Yeah.
I'm like 130 something pages in, and I'm like, I just want to sit and read. I just want to sit, and I haven't felt that for like a while. Actually, since reading JV's last book, The Edge of Unbroken, I've had this weird book hangover that I haven't been able to get over, just because it was so good, and I was so traumatized, and I cried so much, and then she left it, and then there's book 3 coming out, but the end of book 2, I was just like, that makes me uncomfortable. Now I gotta read book 3,
Right.
but I gotta wait for book 3 to get here. So yeah, it's a positive book hangover, but it's just like nothing else is like filling that void. Now that I'm reading Zodiac Academy, I'm starting to feel that, like, I want to read.
So Zodiac Academy, is it like, does it have like, so I really, and again, also very subjective, right? But I really do like the Fourth Wing series. I loved Onyx Storm. I know people
has a
loved it,
dragon on the
hated it,
front.
yada yada.
Yeah.
And isn't like Zodiac doesn't have dragon's eyes. I've heard so much about it. I'm like, is it worth picking up? Should I pick it up?
Well, I don't know if I could tell you. I don't want to give spoilers.
No,
but...
don't tell me that. Okay, here, I'll take it.
Don't spoil nothing, but should I read it?
There's dragons in it.
Oh, there's dragons. Okay.
Yeah.
I should read it. Okay.
Yeah, there's dragons. There's dragons, werewolves, sirens. I mean, every order.
Oh, like, nice. Okay, cool.
So vampires.
I forgot I could read lips.
Yeah. Like there's all the orders. So
nice.
There's
cool.
Yeah, I'm just learning about the shape JV was talking about, shapeshifters and stuff like that. So I'm just learning about that. But it's just like, I'm just so excited to read it. And I just want to go buy it. And my closest library is like an hour and 20 minutes away. And I'm like, do I just go drive and buy it? Because I feel like I kind of do, just to have it physically. Because it needs to go on the stack. Yep. I've read like 3 or 4 books.
I had to have them
that are not on the stack.
All physicals. But yeah, romancy and dark romance.
Yeah.
I love dark romance. I do read a little bit of everything. I'm reading Omegaverse right now.
How is that?
Oh, interesting.
I actually enjoy it. So Ari Wright is incredible, first off. But she took my Omegaverse virginity. I had never read an Omegaverse before I read her, and they're not as dark. So she has the MVP series, which is like sports. But she just came out with one, and it's Beauty and the Beast reimagining, but it's RH.
Oh.
And so
in our 30s. Interesting.
Yeah. And so
interesting.
Like, I don't know, I'm obsessed with it. So
that's really cool.
Okay, very
that
good. Is really cool.
But
what a twist on our podcast. Look where we are now.
Told you. Oh, like the whole gamut.
But yeah, so I do read a little bit of everything. I don't tend to gravitate towards books in third person or single point of view. I just like, I prefer a man's point of. I like to know how the man is like pining after her. Like, I need to know
I love that
like
too.
that's his girl. So.
Well, you have to. I don't know if you have already, but if you haven't picked up JV's books,
I read the first
Tiny
one.
Fractures, Edge of Unbroken. Edge of Unbroken.
I bought it after that day. I bought it that day.
I still need to get the Beacon so I can complete my series.
Yeah.
Yes,
plus the covers.
And you need to get Edge of Unbroken.
Amber did
so
the covers for you, right? Because Amber, I hit her up and she redid my covers for my series. Yeah, hold on. Let me show you.
Did this one too. So this is my tandem read. I think this is the one. I think you have this one.
Ooh,
but 17 minutes.
That's pretty.
17 minutes and Echoist were written in tandem. So I put them together.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I have the.
Yeah, is there
Amber did those as well.
And I don't know if there's a spoiler here,
So
but the colorings of the books. Ooh, Not Another Yesterday came out so.
I
my
know.
goodness.
Yeah, so
Those
she
are
redid
gorgeous.
the covers. This one, I just with the
She's
city,
so
and then
good.
it mirrors the mountains and the water.
Yes.
I haven't seen the Not Another Yesterday one. I think this is a spoiler for everybody.
I know. We may have to put a
it is
big
so
old black
pretty.
bar over this because I haven't actually revealed this one yet. So we may have to purple elephant this, Ty.
Well, this episode's probably not going to come out for like another 4 weeks. So
No,
I
I think we have to probably
We have a
get
lot
it
to go
out
through.
sooner because it's October and domestic violence. We
Oh,
may have to
okay.
do hers on
Okay.
Wednesday, Ty. But yeah,
okay.
just edit this out
Um,
when I'm showing you this. But
Okay.
I wanted Eliza to see that. So thank you so much for
You're so
hooking me up with
Yep.
Amber.
You're welcome.
So appreciate it. And Amber's an author herself, and then she does
Yes.
this. So
We should have her on.
we
Yes.
should have her on.
She's so good. And she's
Yeah.
so sweet and
So nice.
does the best work. So
Yeah.
it's not a spoiler. I think this is the
Okay.
question you're gonna ask. But so Echoes starts so there is symbolism here because it starts with the gray
With the
and then
coloring, the
fades
water
into the
coloring.
color.
Yeah.
And a beacon
Yeah.
because there's no gray. So it's
Yeah.
like full
All
Yeah.
color.
full color. So the original covers, which I do love, but this was the original cover of the Echoist, which all of this is symbolism. So the daffodil, the whiskey glass, the broken glass, all symbolism. However, once I finished Beacon, I realized that those scream more thriller, and I wanted to properly portray her healing journey. So yeah, it's like from dark to
Also,
light.
the indie space is so much dark books.
Yes. Yes.
A lot of people just go with black and then like a graphic image. And I think that if I were to see those on the shelf, I would gravitate more towards that, especially the spines.
That's why
because the
I
spines
went.
are colored.
Because
Yeah.
I was walking through the convention
Yeah.
center and I saw Eliza's books and I was like, holy shit. Tell me
The
about the pretty
colored.
cover books.
Yes.
And I was like,
And
and it's
then-
trauma?
That's where it all started. I said trauma,
Yeah.
and she's like, yes.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Yeah. No, I think that separates you guys. I think more indie authors, I don't know if it's a cost thing. Maybe it's
Mhm.
just cheaper to do a black cover. Maybe that's just what symbolizes that book for them. But I think that if you branch more out into the color sphere,
I think it's
people are going to
marketing.
see it and be more.
It's a marketing thing. I mean, we do our research, or we're supposed to, and then so we design our covers based on what's going to sell. And a lot of that is
But
the
sometimes
dark.
you have to stand out from that because
It's a
look
risk.
at all of the romanticy.
Yes.
They're all
Yeah.
dark.
Yes.
They're all the same.
For sure.
You really have to do your research or just
Yes.
I pick books at random, blind. I'm going to bring this book up again. I did this in the last episode, but I literally chose this book because of the
Yeah.
cover.
Yeah.
And it's like a duology for the throne, for the wolf, and it's two sisters. And that's all that I knew about. And then I was like, take it home because these spines side by side are gorgeous.
Yes.
That's all I care about.
Yes.
What's the book about? Don't know. Read it. Really good.
Coming into my
That was a plus.
room at the end of the day and seeing my bookshelf fills me with so much
Joy.
I don't know. Yeah, seeing them there is, and it's probably an addiction. It's probably maybe not good.
Well,
but
no, and you also have a supportive partner that's
Yes.
like, put it in the bedroom.
Yes.
Because mine are in my office, but this is also my shop. This
Mhm.
is where I do my content. This is where I do everything. And our room is smaller, so it
Mhm.
wouldn't fit in there. But my husband was like, you could put your books in the living room. And I was like, what do you mean?
Yeah, he's got his own
Just for everyone to
bookshelf,
see?
but it has his records
That's so cute.
and his psychology.
Is he a
books.
reader as well?
So
Oh.
he reads my friends' books. Yeah.
Oh,
He'll do live.
that's
He likes
cute.
the dark romance. So M.A. Cobb,
Wow.
Kitty King, he goes for those. And I was actually at Book Harvest this weekend assisting JL Quick. And I told readers my husband loved these because she has a dark series. I would tell readers my husband loved these. And honestly, that would sell them. And that but yeah, he is more, so his major's in psychology. So he's more like a Carl Jung book guy.
Yeah.
And so it's funny because he has all his psychology books over here. He has every single Carl Jung book. And then I've got
The Zodiac Academy.
more educational.
Real
Yeah.
life skills, daddy.
He's never complained.
My
that's
husband's really
amazing.
good at he likes audiobooks more, but he will listen to the books that I'm reading. He read listened to Lights Out and then caught up for book
are listening
club
to
and
Lights
things.
Out. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and Lights Out is
That is
so
so
good.
cute.
It's
Yeah,
so good.
we're listening it on the way too, because he went
Yeah.
to Book Harvest with me. Even though he
Yeah.
didn't have a ticket, even though he wasn't going, he went and hung out
Aw.
with JL's husband in Chicago
Aw.
all weekend.
Oh, that is so
That's
but we listened to
sweet.
Lights Out on the way there.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was good, but it was funny listening to like the spicy scenes with them.
Yep. It's
He
always
like
a little
glance
bit.
it over. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
My husband only reads books on trade or money. Like trade as in like, because he's a blue collar, so he loves it. But I'll like try and explain things about the book, and then you just watch his eyes glaze over. I'm like, why can't you be more into
Yeah.
this? I'm into your car stuff. I go to all your car shows. Like stupid cars all look the same, different colors. He's like, no, babe, those are 3 different cars. I'm like, I don't care. I'm still showing an interest.
Yeah.
I think he
I'm
just doesn't have
trying.
any more room in his
Yeah.
brain. Yeah, exactly.
They work
I'm like,
in
look at that Camaro.
boxes.
He's like, that's a
Yes,
Mustang.
they're not in
Yeah,
box, but-
exactly. Yeah, and I get it. I was like, I just wish you would read because there's so many good books out there, and I think you would enjoy. I'm like, you should read this dragon book. Or I'll get him to choose a book for me to read, and he'll look at the cover and be like, that has skulls and flames. You should read that one. And I'm like, that doesn't.
Yep.
You're literally just basing off of the 2 of the manliest things on those book
My
covers.
husband just opens it to see if it's one of those books where you could just open to a random page
Ploppies.
and it's spicy. He's like, you should read this.
Oh.
This looks like a good one. Like, you don't even know what it's
Erotica.
about.
Oh wow, that's incredible.
That's funny.
Oh my goodness. I would love to keep going, but I'm starving
Mhm.
and I know my son is hungry. And I think we're going to jet out and go to McDonald's. 'Cause,
Oh, good for you.
Yep, as you should.
Yeah,
You deserve it.
as you should.
Eliza.
He deserves it. He's been so good, honestly.
I
He
appreciate you
has
guys
been.
so much.
No, thank you for
You've
coming
been
on.
great.
This is great.
When you're ready to release your first sports romance, when's your ETA on book 1?
So I'm writing all of them first and then releasing next football season.
Are you like
So-
rapid
That is
releasing
so
them?
smart.
Yes. So I want to have them all done. I have September 4th for my first one of next year. So I haven't
Nice.
told anybody that.
Oh,
So
it's
it's a
going to be my
surprise.
birthday present.
But-
Ta-da! How
basically,
many are
right.
there going to be?
There's going to be 4.
Okay.
And New Year's Day is pretty much going to be my New Year, New Me, and I'm completely rebranding. So we're going straight to
I
sports.
love that for
and
you.
then Super Bowl time, I'm going to start dropping like teasers, maybe a cover, we'll see. And then Women's College World Series, the softball aspect of it is when I'm really going to start like pre-orders and marketing and all of that. I have a whole
Nice.
plan in my
Hey, smart.
I have a fun content idea for
I'm
you.
here for it.
So you know how like Super Bowl, they do those like commercials? You should do like those, but for your book.
Oh,
Like
that
the
would
big
actually
kind of
be
Like,
fun.
commercials.
Yeah.
Yeah, like funny like Super
Yeah.
Bowl commercials, like they always have like the Coca-Cola ones or the
Yeah,
Nike
Pizza
ones, and you
Hut
get your
or-
husband or
Yes.
somebody
Yeah.
else. Yeah, somebody come in and instead of it being like a trademarked item, you're like, my new book, my new me.
Yeah. I
you
love
know? Yeah.
Yes, I love it. I have plenty of time to
And I
market.
think it's so smart. Yeah, it's so smart to do it in football season because, and especially with like even last year with all the Taylor Swift stuff,
Yes.
right? Like
Yes.
a lot of people who did not care about football are now watching football. So doing it around football season is so
Yeah.
smart.
That's
Because people are going to be like, I'm over the baseball. Baseball was a couple months ago. I don't know anything about sports, but now it's football season, so I want to read football
Yeah.
romance. You know,
That's the
So,
whole plan.
way to capitalize
is
on the market.
Going with the market. I actually have a marketing degree, but I hate social media. I do,
Wow.
but I hate
I
social
need help.
media.
Me too.
If I liked
I'm a
it
content
more.
creator, and I
But
don't.
yeah, like target
Yeah.
market, but marketing books is different than what you learn in college. Like I can
Yeah.
create a SWOT analysis for a business, but
Mhm.
like when it comes to talking about my book, they're like, "What's it about?" I don't know. Actually, I just
Well, there
wrote
are
it.
these people.
Why don't you read it and find out? Yeah.
You're gonna cry.
Yeah.
That's what you should say at your next book signing, JB. What's this book about? You should buy it and read it.
Buy and read it. Bring tissues.
Yeah,
Let me
you
know.
tell me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I really actually don't want to go, but I know that we need sustenance. So thank you so much for
I
coming
enjoyed this
on,
so much.
and
Thank you guys.
it was really good. I think that for people, I'm going to put a trigger warning just at the beginning because we do kind of dive into our own traumas and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But I think that I feel lighter walking away from this
I
I'm
do
podcast.
so glad we
So
did
thank you
this.
for that.
Yes.
Me too.
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
I hope I don't get you guys
too.
like
Oh.
canceled for anything. that I brought up. So.
Fuck that. You want to? They can cancel us for whatever.
Okay.
Honestly, like, you guys have a problem with it? If you have my phone number, text me, and if you don't know me well enough to have a problem
That's
with
right.
me. So, okay, perfect. So we'll do the outro. So I don't know if you watch Hot Ones at all, the YouTube channel where they throw away the camera to kind of their guests so they could do like a what do you guys got coming up type stuff. You can do your socials and we can kind of do a little bit of promo thing. So we'll do that here for you. Oh my goodness. Okay, Eliza, what an incredibly deep, amazing, cathartic
Yes.
episode. Thank you so much for coming on today. We honestly had a absolute blast. I know that at the end it kind of took a different note, and I actually love that because we're
Yes.
ending on a bit of a high. But before we let you go, the mic is yours. Let the people know what you've got going on
And
in
where
your
we can
life.
find you.
Yeah, so right now I'm doing a big push for Echoism for Domestic Violence Awareness Month so that I can donate all of those royalties to a local domestic violence shelter. That's my biggest thing right now, most important to me. And then after that, we're going full force into Christmas delivery driver spicy novella. So that will
Ooh.
be starting in November, and then we're going to sports romance. So, and I'm on
Busy girl.
Facebook, just Eliza Ann, Instagram and TikTok as Eliza Ann Author. And that's where you could find me. And I have linked in my bio of my Instagram, the domestic violence shelters, if you want to see more about that, or if you want to donate directly to them, because I never want anyone to sacrifice their mental health in an effort to try and help here. You can donate directly to the shelter if you'd like, and the domestic violence hotline. And domestic violence resources by country are on my Instagram page.
Absolutely. That is amazing. You're doing
Thank you guys.
so much
Yes,
good
you
for other
are.
people. That's incredible.
Thank you for hopping on and
Okay.
trauma
course.
dumping with
Yes.
us. It's always
Always.
a nice
Yes.
experience to we bond
Yes.
over that.
Yes.
Yeah. Totally.
And now you get to
Thank
be
you
with
guys
your
so
green
much.
flag and your
Going
kiddos.
downstairs to watch football.
That's right. You enjoy.
Nice.
Are
Thank
you
you
more
guys.
college or NFL?
I am more college.
Yeah.
I am more college, but I play fantasy football, so you got it.
Dang.
But I also live in Kansas
We're gonna have to get
City,
into that next time.
So the Chiefs and
Chiefs.
Yep, so everybody knows the Chiefs now.
And the Eagles.
Everybody.
Or something. Philadelphia.
Taylor's an Eagles
Yeah.
fan, and Travis's brother played for the Eagles. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Go
Jason
sports.
Kelsey. Yeah.
Go sports.
Go sports. Yeah.
Go team. Yeah.
But yes.
That's amazing.
So.
Well, you guys have a great afternoon, and we will
We'll
talk
talk
to you
to you
soon.
soon. Bye.
Bye.